You know that feeling when your best friend forces you to read a book that makes you want to throw your Kindle out the window? Yeah, that was me 3 weeks ago. Sarah, my college roommate and self-proclaimed romance novel connoisseur, had been pestering me for months to read The Duke's Crimson Rose. It's a masterpiece, she'd gushed, waving the book around like some sort of literary flag. The angst, the passion, the drama. What she failed to mention was that it was also a masterpiece of stupidity. The plot was your typical historical romance garbage. Duke Eldrick Blackthorn, brooding and mysterious, falls for the plucky commoner Rose Whitmore, who's not like other girls because she reads books and has opinions. Revolutionary stuff, really. But what made me want to scream into my pillow wasn't the predictable romance, it was Lady Evangeline Ashworth. Sweet, innocent, 8-year-old Evangeline. The Duke's ward. A literal child who was treated like dirt by everyone in the story for absolutely no reason, other than to make the main characters look better by comparison. She was ticked around, ignored, blamed for things that weren't her fault, and basically served as an emotional punching bag for 400 pages of manufactured drama. And for what? So that Rose could look more virtuous by occasionally showing her basic human decency, so that the Duke could have dramatic moments of protecting people while completely failing to protect the actual child in his care? The worst part, none of it mattered. The Duke and Rose broke up spectacularly in the end anyway, making all of Evangeline's suffering completely pointless. She was just collateral damage in their toxic relationship. I'd ranted about this to Sarah for hours. She's 8 years old. What kind of psychopath writes a helpless child being emotionally abused for entertainment? Sarah had just shrugged. It's fiction, Emma. Chill. Right. Tell that to my blood pressure every time little Evangeline got blamed for breathing too loudly. So naturally, when I woke up in a frilly pink dress in what was clearly a historical setting, my first thought wasn't, oh my god, I've been transported to another world. It was, oh my god, I'm going to murder Sarah. The realization hit me like a horse-drawn carriage, which, given my current location, was probably a legitimate concern. I was standing in an ornate bedroom that I recognized from the book's descriptions: silk wallpaper, mahogany furniture, and a portrait of some dead guy in a powder wig glaring down at me. But the real clincher was catching my reflection in the vanity mirror. Blonde ringlets, enormous blue eyes, a face that screamed, I'm 8 years old and about to have a very bad time. I was Lady Evangeline Ashworth. The universe's idea of a practical joke, apparently. Lady Evangeline. A sharp voice cut through my existential crisis. What are you doing dawdling? His Grace is expecting you in the library for your lessons. A stern-looking woman in a gray dress, Mrs. Hartwell, the housekeeper, my brain supplied unhelpfully, stood in the doorway with her arms crossed. In the book, she was one of Evangeline's primary tormentors, constantly berating the child for imaginary transgressions. Well, not on my watch. I straightened my shoulders and gave her my best adult, trying to look dignified in a child's body expression. Of course, Mrs. Hartwell, I was just preparing myself mentally for the